Hello and welcome to How to Play Klondike Solitaire with a Scan Deck, game for one player. Now, those of you in the know will remember that Klondike was the name of the standard solitaire that Microsoft gave you for free with its operating system Windows 3.0, all the way up to 95, 98, and however many operating systems, XP I think. I can't remember when they stopped giving Solitaire away for free as a game, and everybody just came to know this game as Microsoft Solitaire. And I think for some reason in my mind it was known as Patience. I looked through my most mainstream books like the Play According to Hoyle and didn't see Patience in there. And I had a problem. I had a false memory. Something must be going on. I swore this game's name was Patience. And I had a Mandela Effect going on where, of course, the Mandela Effect named after somebody who falsely believed that Mandela had died in prison and never became the president of South Africa after getting released. And after he died, suddenly remembered this false memory and shared it with people who also agreed that it also happened to them. And if I had a Mandela memory, it would be that he never entered politics or went to prison at all, but instead sold tires and was pretty dang good at it. He sold tires and automotive parts and gasoline. And apparently he was really, really good at it. So good, in fact, that he could sell tires to people who didn't even own automobiles. That's how good he was. Everybody was enthusiastic about his tires. And something about, he had some really good marketing to the point where if you bought enough tires from him, it was like winning the Super Bowl, and you would get a nice necklace from him as a gift, something with a tire on it, I think. Anyways, that's my Mandela memory. He never entered politics, he never became the president of South Africa, instead sold tires. It's, of course, totally false, but that's what I believe. Anyways, the Scan Deck, of course, is a deck made up of 4 different card decks. Each deck has a segregated back, so each different colored back represents a different suit in the deck. So for my deck, I have black back cards are spades, red back cards are hearts, blue back cards are clubs, and of course yellow back cards are diamonds. Now, we're going to distribute these cards into columns. We're going to have about, I believe it's going to be 6 columns, or 7 columns. Yeah, we'll have 7 columns, and then we're going to keep distributing cards. The last card of each column is going to be face up, so our last column should be 6 cards face down and 1 card face up, so 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 card. Now for this game, you're going to be finding aces and building them in suit up to king, and you are also going to pack cards in opposite color, off color, and you're able to move those entire stacks of cards if a legal play is available. If there's a vacancy made, they can only be filled up by a king. And stacks of cards with the king, of course, can be moved to a vacancy as well. So as long as you have a legal move, you can move that stack of cards to another stack of cards. You can build on them. You're going to be dealing 3 cards at a time from your draw pile, and you have unlimited redeals, but you must deal 3 at a time unless the cards run out and you have less than 3 in hand. Then you're just going to do with whatever the last card is on your last deal out. Then you're going to turn that deck over and start all over again. That is your redeal. And so that's basically the gist of this game. If you played it on Microsoft Solitaire, you really know this game. The only thing you'd need help with maybe is the setup. The setup to solitaires are always the hardest part and always need referencing. No matter how many times I've played this, I never remember what the exact setup is. Of course, now I know it's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with the last card of each column face up. And so let's go ahead and see what happens in this game. We see that we are moving cards. We are moving them off color in descending order. And we can move those entire stacks if we have a legal move. Right now we don't really have one. And we're moving 3 cards at a time. We find a 10 of diamonds, which will go on the jack of clubs because they are opposite color. Opposites attract in this game. And we also have that 3 of clubs that I can move onto that 4 of hearts. That shows a 10 of clubs, which can be moved onto that jack of hearts. I now have a 5 of hearts, but nowhere to put it, so I'm going to go ahead and redeal. Find a 9 of spades, so I put that with the 10 of diamonds. Now, on the back of my hand, as I'm looking at the cards, I'm dealing 3 of them at a time. I know what card's going to be the suit of the last one, and I know what cards underneath are going to be the suit. That's the only difference in this game versus the Microsoft game, is you have a little bit more context clues, but did it actually help me win the game more? And I would answer no, because you are somewhat limited to the shuffle of the deck. Even with all this information, it did not increase chances at all. I lost plenty of times before filming a winning set of moves. I want to say I probably won only 1 out of 5 games, just like the basics of standard Klondike. And despite me having a false memory of the game's name, I now know it to be Klondike. And when I went back to look through games according to Hoyle, or how to play according to Hoyle, I did find Klondike, and it listed it also as known as Canfield. Erroneously, it's known as that. The people just did not have a whole lot of solitaires back then and thought every solitaire was the same name. So probably why I was so confused as to why a game like Solitaire would be called Solitaire, but really it's called Klondike Solitaire. Did not realize that. And it had some other names associated with it, but they're names I've never heard associated with this game. So I can't even remember what some of them were, but they were pretty obscure and not common. I think one of the names referred to this game as coming from China in some way, but of course it did in the most redneck terms, which now for some reason, because of the basic language used, it just seems offensive to people. But basically one of the names it had was Chinaman, which I honestly don't know how in the world anybody thought this game coming from China. It's not like they had playing cards back then. But it was one of the first and highly successful solitaires, and as you see, we have one. So each suit has a different color, so now you know a scan deck, and you get the win screen, so yay! And so like always, if you actually want to play something that's not solitaire, come to our subreddit Card Game Meetups. Post your city, what games you know, what games you want to play, what public place in your city you want to do this at. Do click under the show more for that link, as well as links to other things like the rules, the music, and other video channels I enjoy, and most importantly, a link to a Discord server where you can talk about card games all day, every day with other people that are enthusiastic and expert card players and know a little bit about cards and a lot about cards. Do call your friends, ask them if they want to play cards. They might say yes, they might say no, they might talk your ear off, but the better thing is, as long as you call them, you never know. Do like, subscribe, and share these videos with other people you know like playing card games or like learning new games, or you want to play card games with, is a good hint to do. And I want to thank today's musician. I'll see everybody next video.